If you think dentistry is a great full-time career, you better think again. So what used to be an extremely stable and predictable profession is now volatile and leaves most young dentists in and out of jobs for a variety of reasons. So with the rising cost of tuition and low reimbursement rates for dentists, plus the overall stress, the lack of mentorship and education, then you factor in the time to money ROI in dentistry, it does not make sense to be a full-time dentist for most dentists in 2023 and beyond. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why it doesn't make sense for most. Again, the key here is most. You can still be a dentist and be successful. However, that's not a reality for a majority of dentists in the field today and for upcoming generations. This video is purely meant to just show you another way other than the traditional route, which has always led to practice ownership, which 90% of dentists are not qualified to do, but they had no choice. So strap in and let's get to it. So what does every dentist want in life? Dentists want to be happy and they want to live a fulfilled life. And the thing is when you're working 5 days a week in dentistry, it's just not sustainable. The amount of physical stress that your body takes on is absurd. You are sitting in one position for most of the day, or you're bouncing between different ops. You're hunched over like this. And if you have really good posture, sure, you might be able to extend a couple years on your career, but overall, you're sitting in this position and you're very constrained and you're doing micro movements for long periods of time. That's not good on the body long term. The other thing is there's a lot of mental stress that happens. So when you're practicing, you may be working on a tooth and you're with a patient. So mentally you should be here, but most dentists mentally are all over the place. They're thinking about what's going on in the other operatory. Is a lab case in? Have the patients paid for treatment? Is my schedule going to be full if I don't diagnose things? There's so many different things that dentists think about, and this can get very taxing over time. Another thing that's super stressful for dentists is the emotional toll that patients bring onto dentists. I remember I had a patient who didn't have much bone left on her 2 front teeth, and I had to be the one to tell her that she was going to lose her front teeth. She immediately broke down crying before I could even say anything else, and I felt so bad for her. Again, just one of the many ways that dentists have to take on a lot of their patients' emotional situations. So that being said, did you know dentistry is one of the most stressful jobs on the planet? And remember how I said dentists want to live this happy and fulfilled life? Well, they can't get there because a lot of them are working 5 days a week in an extremely stressful job. So a lot of you may be watching and thinking like, oh, well, I work 5 days. Why can't dentists do it? The thing is I am not discrediting the stress of other jobs. I'm just saying for dentists, it is extremely stressful. And this can take a toll on a lot of people. So I was curious to know what's the sweet spot of number of days to practice dentistry where you could still maximize your happiness. So on my Instagram page, I ran a poll and the results came back pretty shocking. So majority of dentists said if they work 4 days or less, that is where they are feeling happy and fulfilled. I think that says a lot. So before we move forward in this video, please subscribe to the channel. It takes a lot of time and thought to put these videos together, and I'm doing it for you. And honestly, when I see more subscribers and likes on the video, even comments, it really motivates me to keep making more content like this. Okay, back to it. So there's this mentality where people think that you must work hard now so that way you can enjoy your life later. That's not necessarily the case in dentistry. The thing is though, is a lot of dentists believe that if they don't keep working hard, then they won't be able to pay their bills. This is a limiting mindset. And if you think about it at a macro level, financially, dentistry doesn't really make that much sense in the future. So the cost of tuition is up. It's around like $750,000 to go to dental school. And then when you come out of dental school, you're probably making around $120,000. That can go up over time, but you have to reinvest into education to be able to do procedures and learn how to treatment plan things, talk to patients to really increase the amount of money that you can make. Because the skills that you learn in dental school are not going to be enough for you to make $300,000-$400,000 as a dentist. That type of money comes from when you're doing specialized procedures and you have experience with treatment planning and talking to patients and stuff like that. And then if you look at the trade-off between time and money, it starts to really make less and less sense because you study all those years to become a dentist. And then when you come out, you're playing catch up from a financial perspective, but also from time. For me, I was in school up until I was 25. That's not normal. Most dentists are in school until they're 28. And so you spent your 20s, which are some of the best years of your life, in school. And then when you come out, you're not even that much more ahead than the people who didn't spend that extra time going to school. And you have more debt and you have no experience in the workforce. All these things add up. I want to pull this quote from a friend of mine who's a dentist. This was their take on the field. The goal is to maximize our degree in the way that best makes us happy and successful. And in order to do that, you got to be creative with your happiness and livelihood. It's not so cut and dry as it used to be. You have to get creative. So what if I told you that if more dentists worked on a part-time basis, more patients would get better care? First, you need to be open to the idea of working part-time in dentistry. That way you can open up more time in your life to pursue other more lucrative ventures. So one way that you can get down to a part-time basis is the following strategy. Invest the money to learn and get good at a high-ticket procedure, something like implants, aligners, or veneers. Make sure that this procedure can impact your patients in a positive way. Then, as you do more of this procedure and you get more demand for it, cut your working days down, something to like 2 to 3 days a week. This will ensure that that you have a full schedule for whenever you're doing clinical dentistry, and it opens up so much time for you outside of the office. And when you have time, you're going to have more energy to pursue other things like side gigs. Maybe you get into real estate. Maybe you create a digital product that you can sell on social media. Maybe you create a course where you can teach other people in the field something that you learned and got good at to elevate everybody else. Maybe you are posting on social media and you start getting into affiliate marketing, and now you're making passive income just by sharing links to people and they're buying products that you recommend and use. There's so many other ways that you can make money to help supplement your life as a dentist. So I'll answer the question, how does dentistry benefit from more part-time dentists? Well, you see, when you're a dentist and you have multiple streams of income, you are not solely relying on the dental work that you are doing to pay your bills. And this is where it gets tricky, because a lot of dentists fall into the trap of thinking that they have to make all their money from just doing dentistry. So some people tend to overdiagnose. They tend to do things that are not ethical, and they're doing it not from a place of wanting to do harm to patients. They're doing it because they're genuinely concerned about paying their bills. And to make money, they only think about one way that they can do it, which is to do dentistry. Know that you can make money by doing other things outside of just drilling on teeth, and it doesn't require as much effort. And what that does is that mentally reprograms dentists. Now they practice on a part-time basis as a hobby. So now they're actually not motivated by money. They're motivated by the well-being of their patients. You see how everybody wins? And so I can relate to this because as a young dentist, I didn't know any better. I was just trying to learn and get good at procedures so that way I could provide high quality care to my patients. But then there came a point in time where my student loan bills weren't going anywhere, and I realized that I had to do different types of procedures to be able to make money. And so I found myself getting really intense about clinical dentistry and really trying to get my patients to do treatment. And that can come off in a very desperate way. And if you've been to a dentist who had recommended procedures, sometimes what happens is it feels like they're being salesy.
Candy bars, $50.
I've definitely been there. And it's not that I was trying to be salesy, but I really wanted my patients to get the treatment that they needed. And I also wanted to make money, but that's a slippery slope. And so that's when, once I created an online course and I had an online business where I was creating content and making money online, I wasn't so stressed for making money clinically, and I felt the shift, and it's been amazing. And so now I practice 2 days a week in the office, and I spend the rest of my week creating content like this and supporting doctors in my clear aligner training program. And so if you're a dentist and you want to learn how to do aligners, check out the link in the description. I have a free masterclass where you can learn exactly how to start doing aligners. But all that being said, I found that when I started practicing on a part-time basis and I wasn't doing dentistry for the money anymore, the level of care that I was giving my patients dramatically increased. I found that I was having more open and honest conversations with my patients. I felt like I was going a little bit slower. I felt like I was a lot more detailed, because when you remove the friction of having to make money by doing dentistry, the aspect of caring for someone's oral health and wanting them to improve their oral health and giving them solutions to do so takes over everything. Now, while older dentists will say, oh, you should be doing this from the beginning, and if someone is trying to be a dentist, they're getting into this because they want to help people, I'm right there with you. All I'm saying is 10, 15, 20 years ago, when the cost to become a dentist was like 50 to 80 grand, and now it's almost $750,000, there's a huge discrepancy in how much debt somebody has and how expensive their bills are. Not to mention if they want to get a house, and if they want to travel, and if they want to live their life. It's just not the same environment from a financial perspective anymore. And I hope you found value in seeing that there are other ways that you can go about being a successful dentist. Again, this is just one strategy. There's other ways where you can be a successful dentist, but this is something that I've personally done. And now I have so much more happiness and fulfillment, and I hope you can do the same. I hope you found this video insightful. My goal was to share with you a new way to look at dentistry so that way you're not hit in the face with reality, not knowing what to do. Remember, you always have a choice, and it's never too late to make a pivot or a change. You can do anything you put your mind to. If you enjoyed this, please drill that like and subscribe button and share it with someone you think may benefit from it. I'll see you in the next video.